Hello you lot, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today we're just coming into the Christmas season, so I'm going to do a Christmas thing. I'm going to make mincemeat and mince pies. These are deeply traditional things of the UK, and they don't actually contain meat, but they do contain a lot of fruit and quite a bit of booze, and so mincemeat, mince pies, marvellous. If you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, become a patron, make a donation, etc. And without further ado, let's make mincemeat. Ingredients for the mincemeat. I've got, well, there's a lot of them. In no particular order, there's 200 grams of almonds, there's 250 grams of dried apricots, there's supposed to be a kilo of Granny Smith apples. I haven't quite got that much. But this is the thing about this recipe, it doesn't matter if you don't have these exact quantities. As long as you've got this same total mass of stuff, you'll be fine. Juice and zest of 1 lemon, juice and zest of 1 orange, and 250 grams of sugar. Could be all white sugar, could be soft brown sugar, could be a mixture, which is what I've got. And then we've got 300 grams of sultanas, 300 grams of prunes, about 150 grams of dates and 150 grams of raisins, and 250 grams of suet, which I'll tell you more about later. And then we've got a few spicy things. We've got 2 or 3 tablespoons of candied fruits, that's orange and lemons and a bit of lime, a tablespoon of ground nutmeg and a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, or 2 sticks of cinnamon. Okay, that's it. Of course that's not it. I forgot possibly the 2 most important ingredients. We've got 500 ml of cider and we've got 125 ml of brandy. Okay, suet. I use suet a lot, and it amazes me that in many parts of the world you just can't get it, and people don't know what it is. This is how we generally buy it in the UK. And it's in pellet form and it's coated in flour. As an alternative, you can sort of do something similar that works, which is to freeze some butter and then when it's frozen, grate it and then toss it in flour. So the blender can do a halfway decent job of smashing these nuts to bits. Some of them are way too big and some of them are way too small. And then pop them in a big pan. Everything will end up in there quite soon. Right, let's do these apricots. Just a quick chop in half is fine for those. And same deal with the prunes. There's my prunes. We'll throw in the sultanas as well. Oops! And we can put the sugars in, the dried fruit and the spice, and okay, still got to deal with the dates. The raisins can go in. Now, just to save a bit of time, I'm going to put the dates in and the cider. I'm going to pop these on the stove and get them cooking. They need an hour altogether. And I'm doing this now because I'm in a rush, as always. And while that's coming up to the boil, I'll prep the apples and the orange and lemon. Now repeat the process with the lemon. Right, now I'm doing the apples, so I've peeled them, and I'm just going to cut the flesh off. If I had a working corer, I would take the core out, but I don't have much luck with corers. So come into little wee chunks, and for now I'll just pop them in the jug with the lemon and orange juice. That'll stop them going brown before we put them in the big pan. Right, so everything is in the pan now, bubbling away, or gently on lowest possible heat with a lid on, with the exception of the suet and the brandy. These go in at the end after it's cooled down a bit. So just needs to cook for about an hour. Stir it now and again, make sure it doesn't stick. If it looks like it's sticking, add a teeny bit more liquid. But you know, it should be a very thick kind of gunk. Okay, now I've got a load of glass jars with metal lids, not plastic ones, and we need to sterilise these. Basically just chuck them all in a pot of boiling water, and they need to be submerged in boiling water for 10 minutes. Okay, time to finish off the mincemeat. So it's moderately cool now. I'm going to add my suet and about half the brandy. We'll save the rest until it's in the jars. Fish these out. I'll put the tongs in there to get them sterile as well, because you need them to get the glasses out. I just want these to air dry and cool down. I've also sterilised a big spoon. I haven't tasted this yet, so might be an idea. That's the stuff. That's mincemeat. So we'll stick it into jars, and this is actually ready to use straight away, but it will improve over time, and if you've sterilised your jars properly, it'll last for years. And just a little layer of brandy on the top. So there we go, 7.5 jars of wonderful mincemeat. So we've got our mincemeat. Obviously you can buy this if you want to, but making your own is just no comparison. It is super wonderful stuff. Now to make the pastry you need 350 grams of plain all-purpose flour, 75 grams each of butter and lard, and a teaspoon of salt. You'll also need just enough water, cold water, to make it come together into a ball. So first of all, the usual thing for a short crust pastry, mix in the salt. And you might think it's odd that for a sweet little pie we have salt in the pastry, but that's the way it is. So I'll cut the fats into little cubes. You could use all butter, by the way, if you have a problem with lard, or shortening, or whatever. So rub them in, break them down, get them covered in flour, and you want to end up with something like coarse breadcrumbs, or the sand on Skegness Beach. I don't know if there's anything special about the sand on Skegness Beach. I'm not even sure I've ever been there, but anyway, you know, just sand in general. Add the water a bit at a time, trying very hard not to overdo it. I might have overdone it a little bit. I'll just pop this in an airtight container, and then I'll stick that in the fridge to rest for 30 minutes. I'm going to make my mince pies in this little bun tray. So first of all I need to grease the inside of them because we don't want our mince pies to stick. Now flour on your worktop and on your rolling pin, half the pastry, and roll it out to about 3 or 4 millimetres. It's about 1/4 inch, a bit less. So I'll cut some bottoms out. And we pop them in the dimples in the bun tin. So we'll pop some mincemeat filling into each one. Don't overdo it. I've put the lids on. I like to leave some kind of hole or space in the tops so that you can see what's inside. So I was going to cut stars out, and I'm pretty sure somewhere I've got little star-shaped cookie cutters, or at least one, but I can't find it. So instead I'm just going to do a little crescent moon kind of effect. And just stick it on the edge with a little bit of water. Now we want to get the oven heated to 180 Celsius for a fan oven, convection oven. That's 200 for a conventional one, and that's gas 6. Now I've managed to make 24 mince pies and a little bit of pastry left over. I could make a couple more out of that, but I won't. And we need to glaze them, so I've got an egg and a splash of milk. I'll just mix those together and paint the tops of the pies and a bit around the edge. These go in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes, and I'll swap their shelves around about halfway through. Okay, we have mince pies. Okay, they look pretty weird. So, actually, yeah. Okay, so now we just want to finish them off with a bit of icing sugar sifted across the top. And you can't really do anything with these until they cool down quite a lot, because you know, boiling hot mincemeat, you can't touch it. So a good sifting of icing sugar, of course, winter, snow, and yeah, when they cool down a bit I'll get them out, put them on the wire rack, and then we'll do a test of the taste. And now it's time for testing of the taste with
me,
Mrs. Christmas Cooks.
What?
Yeah, they're yours.
Oh, I say. Oh well, your good health, my love.
Yeah, slangy. It's only August.
Do you know it's so close to December? Have you just spilled wine down your front?
No.
Yep.
Not very bad.
Oh yeah.
I think the silence and the grunting says it all, really. They're pretty good, aren't they?
Because I like shop bought mince pies, but the pastry is more cakey and it's firmer. This is, yeah, this is pastry and it's on that filling. Oh, it's lovely that. I hope we've got enough.
I have this much. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Did you put suet in it?
Yeah.
Did you? Because I can't see bits of suet, but I've just remembered. So you know, it's been at least a year since I've had mince pies.
Yeah, well, you don't generally see it. I mean, you can see it in the jar. But you know, it's all cooked and browned and covered in ice and sugar. Right. We're going now. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.